Through your voice.
Related voltage from bone marrow cells to megamarrow cells, they related voltage. And then normal value is 1.5 to 4 lakhs. Thrombocytopenia is less than 1.5 lakhs. Regarding etiology, thrombocytopenia usually presents as petechial spots, or ecchymosis, purpura.
So can we ask questions to the intern? What is the difference between ecchymosis, petechia and purpura? Three of you. Ecchymosis, petechia, purpura. Discussion on the screen is ecchymosis, petechia or purpura? Petechia is small, small, purpura is big, big. Ecchymosis is big, 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 big. So petechia is less than 1 millimeter, purpura is 5 millimeters, more than 5 millimeters, ecchymosis.
Epistaxis, gum bleeding, hematosis.
All kinds of bleeding from anywhere in the body.
Come to etiology. Etiology is briefly classified into decreased production, increased extraction, and increased sequestration. Coming to decreased production, it can be congenital or acquired. The congenital causes is Fanconi's anemia, Gray-Platelet syndrome, Wiskott-Aldrich syndrome, May-Heglin syndrome, congenital amegakaryocytic thrombocytopenia, X-linked thrombocytopenia related to thalassemia. Coming to acquired causes are mainly due to drugs like methotrexate, interferon, and commonly used drugs like H2 blockers and proton pump inhibitors, amiodarone. Coming to infections like dengue,
The same formula of medicine is coming back. Any cause, congenital traumatic inflammatory neoplasm. And trauma, you have toxins, drugs, all those things. That's the classifier.
sepsis.
So infections can cause thrombocytopenia. Different kinds of infection. You can put out all those viruses you have studied, bacteria you have studied. And in general, as you're saying, some sepsis, which means basically some virus or bacteria or whatever. So
Myelodysplasia, marrow infiltration due to neoplastic disorders.
yeah, so neoplasia, congenital traumatic inflammatory neoplasm. So inflammation due to unknown reasons, which we call as immunological causes, primary. So what are those primary unknown inflammation of the bone marrow, which can cause thrombocytopenia?
Myelofibrosis, myelodysplasia.
Yeah, these are more of myelopathic anemias and basically infiltration or even fibrosis, as you said. But
Decreased production.
decreased production. What is the common as inflammation? What is it called? Which is causing thrombocytopenia in the marrow. I mean, you wouldn't even think of it as inflammation. That's why you're wondering. It is basically aplastic anemia. The cause of aplastic anemia is ultimately inflammation. Yeah, I mean, it can be again aplastic anemia is also where you will have the same flow chart, inflammation, infection, this, that. But ultimately, when you say primary aplastic anemia, like primary glomerulonephritis, you do not know what is causing it. But there is inflammation and there is destruction. And when there is destruction, all you can see is fat spaces in the marrow. You won't see much hematopoietic tissue there, no erythropoietic islands. So that is how we will, and why? We think it is because of again inflammatory damage to the normal tissue, the normal hematopoietic. So we think of it as an inflammation. Why? Because that's what we are treating. We are treating it with anti-inflammatory, immunosuppressive. The commonest treatment for aplastic anemia is immunosuppressive like cyclosporin. People used to get steroids earlier. And of course, nowadays they realize no point. I mean, bone marrow transplant is probably better off. So yes, so thrombocytopenia due to causes, any causes you can divide into congenital, as you said, and trauma as in toxin, drugs, you said, and inflammation and neoplasia. So he has covered everything. So finding a cause in medicine is easy, formula wise. Now we come to clinical features. You already have finished clinical features also.
Increased destruction.
Yeah, now we come to increased destruction causes. Yes.
Increased destruction in ITP.
Again, the same formula will apply here also.
ITP, hemolytic.
See, what is ITP?
idiopathic thrombocytopenia.
Yeah. So that is the last thing. That is primary thrombocytopenia again. Where we don't know, that is the last. So how do we diagnose ITP? By ruling out other causes. So what are the other causes of increased destruction of platelets? Infection, not like that. Congenital, of course, not. Is there a congenital condition where the platelet gets destroyed? I don't know. Now trauma, trauma causing platelet destruction.
Gray platelet syndrome, it is a abnormality of phosphogranulation of platelets.
Ah.
So it will lead to thrombocytopenia.
So it is basically in the platelet only.
Bone marrow fibrosity of bone marrow.
So is it because of bone marrow or because of platelet? How can something in the platelet cause bone marrow fibrosis?
Reason is due to the abnormality of alpha granulation of platelets.
And where are the alpha granules? In the platelets or in the bone marrow? So if once it is inside the platelets and the platelet is outside the bone marrow, why will it affect the bone marrow? So we have to look into that. Okay. So in the platelets, when the platelet is outside the bone marrow and roaming in the blood, the same factors will apply again. Congenital, we don't know. Trauma, that is toxin, drug. What are those? Peripheral destruction of platelets can be caused by certain toxins and drugs. Think of anything. I mean, put some whatever toxins.
Pseudothrombocytopenia usually regarding the collection of the blood sample, if you collect the sample in
Okay, so one
sodium
reason could be
negative.
that it is not thrombocytopenia at all. It's just that we think it is thrombocytopenia. So that's of course another side reason. Yeah. What else? So just use the formula I'm saying. Congenital traumatic inflammatory neoplasm. In peripheral also. So if you say peripheral, mostly it is trauma. And what trauma? What causes trauma to the formed elements of the blood circulating?
Metallic stents.
Yes, when the platelet is coming out, the spleen is the one.
Comes under increased sequestration.
Yeah, and that increased sequestration is a kind of trauma. You want to put it in the formula in your mental model so that you can catch everything.
Mechanical valves.
Yeah, mechanical valves. Yes, what else? Something from outside externally, if you inject something as Trump is telling us to do. Your platelets will be affected if you inject Clorox or whatever you were saying, bleaching powder. All the platelets will be wiped out. What else? Snake bite yesterday. So directly it might harm the platelets. What else? So all kinds of toxins. Drugs. What drugs? All the peripheral. Heparin induced thrombocytopenia. Yeah, that's a very, very interesting. That itself is a short note and a big short note in this.
Actually, heparin forms a complex of platelet factor 4, which is present on the surface of platelet, and it will lead to IgG antibody.
So it is peripheral. Once the platelet comes out, the heparin captures it, basically brings it down. That's the idea. Okay, what else? Antibiotics. Some antibiotics can cause thrombocytopenia by peripheral destruction, not by bone marrow suppression. Okay, what else?
SLE, Atlas syndrome.
Okay, immune mediated. So once you have finished toxins, now you come to inflammation. Inflammatory condition causing peripheral destruction of platelets. So inflammatory conditions can be infective or immune mediated. Infective is, again you think of all viruses actually and put it down there. And immune mediated, again same, as you said, lupus,
Atlas syndrome.
Atlas syndrome, yeah, put all those, whatever, all the immunological conditions that you know, you can kind of put it there. Yeah, health also. Okay, what else? Neoplasia peripheral? Not sure. What about that syndrome of whatever, hemophagocytic syndrome? Where would it happen? Would it happen peripherally or in the bone marrow? So it's only in the bone marrow, not peripherally. Peripheral also. Peripheral or both bone marrow peripheral or only peripheral?
Secondary to cytokine storm, cytokine anemia.
So cytokine mediated inflammation, reducing the platelets,
Peripheral.
and it is in the peripheral pathway. Yeah, but what you when you say cytokine storm or cytokine mediated inflammation, it's already at the downstream pathway. So in downstream, most of the things are same. You say dengue. Dengue, how does it cause thrombocytopenia? If I just take one dengue as an example, a virus causing thrombocytopenia, it has both peripheral as well as bone marrow destruction. I mean, bone marrow it does not allow to form, as well as it destroys the platelets peripherally. And peripherally, how does it destroy? As Radha is saying, cytokine mediated. COVID is also basically in the final pathway when people die of COVID, they are having ARDS, developing DIC, developing thrombocytopenia, all the features of sepsis, full-blown sepsis. The same thing happens in dengue, people who die with dengue, same thing happens with Ebola. So those are not specific to COVID as such. There's a lot of misinformation chaos around COVID where they're saying that people are having thrombosis, coagulation. But whatever review we have done of the literature on COVID, everything is pointing towards the end pathway after the cytokine storm starts. So that's very downstream. By that time you're already on your way out. So
Usually the other as of it is an
yeah, so platelet this thrombocytopenia due to consumption, which we also call as DIC, is a very common thing. When there's a lot of platelet consumption, the platelet just comes down. Why platelet consumption? Due to some reason the cytokines, through some cellular complex, they are probably trapping it. I'm not sure how that consumption of platelets happens in DIC, if anybody knows the cellular pathological aspect.
It is also an acute phase reaction of platelet. So
Yes, I mean
majority of
the initial
antibiotics-
phase is the platelets increase because they are also a part of your army. So they increase in number. This thrombocytosis, reactive thrombocytosis. And later when you have gone into the death pathway, when there is no returning, then you develop already DIC and your platelets get consumed. And you develop thrombocytosis. So this is one. And now what about, you have finished the causes of thrombocytopenia. What about the treatment or clinical done? Now therapy based on diagnostic and therapeutic.
After getting decreased platelet count, we'll check for the other blood counts, WBC and hemoglobin. If they are normal, then we go. If they are normal, then we shift the focus to peripheral smear. In peripheral smear, if the morphology of platelets is normal and the size is normal, then we think of drug-induced or auto-induced. If there is a clumping on the peripheral smear, then we will think of pseudo-thrombocytopenia. So if the platelet, if
So
all the three
essentially,
uses,
when you are having the platelets are becoming clumps in clusters, it is read by the machine as one. If you give it to the machine, the autoanalyzer, it will just read it as one. So then the sir has to see it and then he knows that okay, they are clumped. So he has a formula for clumping. He will say okay, if this is clumping, there are this many platelets. So he will keep adding them up and that is how he will say okay, this is the actual manual way of counting the platelets. So
if all the blood indices are decreased, then we go for bone marrow examination.
yeah, so blood indices decrease means what one?
WBC, hemoglobin.
So pancytopenia. If the patient has pancytopenia, you are again thinking of bone marrow failure, aplastic anemia, due to whatever reason. So that is there. So that is again your differential is changing here. So most often thrombocytopenia when we talk about, we don't talk about bone marrow thrombocytopenia. Bone marrow thrombocytopenia is basically aplastic anemia as a different thing. We are mainly concerned with peripheral thrombocytopenia, peripheral destruction of cells. So our focus should be on peripheral destruction. And of course, as we discussed, there are so many causes, but when we don't know the cause, and many of your, we have seen some MBBS students also having it, and it's very common. Many people have this peripheral destruction of platelets more than what is required, and some of them are unfortunately treated not in an evidence-based manner, and then they'll end up with complications of those. So there's a huge amount of discussion now left on approach to primary thrombocytopenia, peripheral destruction of platelets, where the cause is not known. Once you have eliminated all possibilities, drug-induced, infections, neoplasia, now what? How we approach the patient of a primary thrombocytopenia, or what is now known as immune thrombocytopenia. ITP is, initially it was called idiopathic, now it's called immune thrombocytopenia. Because now we know everything idiopathic is mostly immune.
Usually, in majority of cases, it resolves spontaneously. In cases, if it is not resolving, if it is symptomatic,
So whom will you consider for treatment?
The patient is symptomatic, like bleeding manifestation,
Okay.
or the platelet count is less than 10,000, with the risk of anticipation of bleeding.
Intracerebral bleeding.
The IVIG is preferred, initial choice. If not,
Why?
steroids. Increase the immune system.
Increase the platelet. Why is steroid? I mean, IVIG preferred over steroids. What evidence do we have to prefer it over steroids? Yeah, so you see, this is the number one spot where you all get weak in your knees. Because when you are reading it in a textbook manner. So textbook is telling give IVIG, okay, give IVIG. Give this, give that, and you just accept it. But you have to go through the trials. Who established IVIG is better? Who can afford IVIG here? I have never given IVIG to any of my patients. And most of them are doing okay. They didn't die. In fact, when we gave IVIG or steroids, that patient died. Kill this patient. Isn't it? The patient was having 10,000 or 7,000 and we were not giving anything. So somebody said, why not give something? What did we give? Methylprednisolone or dexamethasone? Or did we give him platelet? Oh, we were not even giving her platelet. So initially, yeah, only after giving platelet she had an ICD.
We don't know whether it is due to drug or any kind of.
No, we did not give her any drug. We just gave her platelets. We gave her steroid. Yeah, we gave her platelet transfusion to do the bone marrow. And once we gave her the platelet transfusion, she developed intracerebral thrombosis, not bleed. She had a cerebral thrombosis. So then Dr. Kirti reviewed the literature and found that when you have thrombocytopenia and you give platelet, your platelets have a propensity to become thrombotic and they basically clot. And that causes increased risk of cerebral thrombosis rather than ICD. So that is what she had. She had a very acute cerebral infarct after giving platelets. So there's some of your experience coming out. I mean, coming into your paper, experience-based medicine. That's also important. Basically, your 3 years of PG is to gain experience and match it with the available experiences of others and experiments. Because when we say evidence-based medicine, it's based on experiments, not experience alone. Experiments when it's blinded, your experience is blinded. Like if the pharma company tells you, sir, use it and see. If you use it and see, you will be anyway biased. You know that you are using it to that person, you are not blinded. So those are all biased studies. Whatever, we do it in our practice as, let's say, phase 4 trials. We are not blinding ourselves or randomizing our patients. So that's why evidence is required. Evidence gained from empirical trials, which is very difficult to do. And we are not sure what people are really doing, how they are gathering the evidence also, because not everything is made threadbare. Because we need to know each and every patient detail to know about it perfectly. But still, it's a good start to try to find out at least. Okay, I think we have had a good discussion from the final years. Now I'll just quickly ask Dr. Lakshma, you were there yesterday? No?